So head off and do a trial that I haven't done in a very long time. I'm going to say probably 10-15 years. I've no idea why I haven't been up there in all this time. I just don't tend to, because I can get mighty busy with people. Oh, lake's full. There was a loon here just now. Of course, now I've turned up with a camera. Gonna get nothing. Literally. Just now, a loon was making an amazing sound. I just love that sound. Very hard to beat that. Right, up over that valley, over that way, is where I had my first grizzly bear encounter. Over there. Not this hill that you see here, the one behind it. Walked up through the valley, and there was this grizzly bear, probably about 100 feet ahead of me. Just turned around, looked at me, and off it went. Right, so I'm going to head on up the hills and just have a little walk around. This is such a nice little walk. It's a very easy walk. This is a great kid walk. This is, so yeah, I'll head up round there and do some video on the way. Just for context, that hill over there is the hill I'm going up. This is called Old Buck Hill Trail, and I haven't literally been up here for about 15 years, and I've no idea why. It's such an easy walk. It really is. And I found myself coming back down the road, but I didn't want to drive back down the highway, so I thought I'll take the back way and came down through here. This is a great kid-friendly hike. If you've never done this one, it's such an easy walk, and there are campgrounds around here, so it's very rare that you're on the trail on your own. So if people aren't comfortable being out in the middle of nowhere, then this is a great trail. Yeah, it's called Old Buck Loop, OLEBUCK Loop. It's up in the Sibrid area. Now, that down there will take you down to a very wet crossing. You don't want to do that. Played that game before. Tried to cross there once before. However, if you just come up here, short way, you'll find there's a very nice bridge. No sense in wading across a swamp when you've got a really nice bridge. Right, I'll do some more when I get to the bridge. Right, after a short walk through the forest, you'll come down the hill to, as promised, one bridge. People have probably asked me many times, why do I walk my pole like this? This is cobweb o'clock. Yeah. Yes. So as you can see, there's lots of water flowing through this creek, and it's a lot easier to walk across the bridge. That other crossing I was showing you was just up that way. But, not sure why you'd want to wade across that when you have a perfectly good bridge here. Yeah. But it will needs a bit of a trim back. I'll do that on the way back. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Very nice. Now, the other side of this bridge, I prefer to do this loop clockwise. You can go all the way around either way, makes absolutely zero difference. It's same elevation obviously, but I actually prefer to go this way. So when I come across the bridge, I usually turn left and then go off up the valley, and when I come back, I'll come back that way. Yeah, see, Old Buck Loop right there. We've got a lot of these new signs. Yeah, so yeah, you can go either way, whatever's your preference. I prefer to go anti-clockwise. The wildflowers up through here, aren't they nice? Look at all this. Those are Susans. Susans, I think. I don't know what the purple ones are. No idea. Yeah. I'm out this way. I don't normally do. This is semi-tourist trail. This is. I don't normally do these. Years and years ago, like I say, I haven't been up here for probably 15 years or more now. Yeah. But either way, it's a very nice walk. And I'm out this way. It's a weekday. I'm out this way. There's hardly any people around. There is a campground off not too far from here, and there's hardly anybody in it. So I can tell you now, it's good. Ooh. down in the bottom there, see that plant, that tall white one? Don't touch that. Yeah, we used to call that cow parsley in England. I can tell you now, you touch that stuff, if you ever touch that stuff, don't rub your eyes. If you get the really big hogweed, it can actually make you go blind, so do not. Yeah, see that big white plant down there? Avoid that, avoid all parts of it. Yeah, right, I'm going to continue that way. What a glorious day, flowers are lovely. Yeah, going to go along the bottom here, and then there's some zigzag trails that go up the hill, and then I'll show you where that is. Right, just going to do some location pointers from here. All up through these trees over here, there's campground in there. That mountain in the back over there, that big one, that is Moose Mountain. Across here we have going off up to Cox Hill, and some of this is Hunchback Hills. That one in front of me there is Deer Ridge, following up onto the other ridge. The other side of that valley and heading up that way, that takes you up to Eagle Hill. I'm just standing here. I saw something move up in the far distance, and like I say, this is where I actually had my first ever grizzly bear encounter, was up here. As you can see, this sits really wet down in the bottom here, so yeah, I am currently soaked up to my knees because this is wet grass. Yeah, so where I'm heading is up into those trees there, and then I'm going to turn left and go turn right, sorry, and go up the hill. Yeah, nice, isn't it? Great place for a walk. And like I say, this is a really kid-friendly hike. It's not very far around. I don't know what it is in kilometres, but it ain't far. Yeah, so I'll do some more when I get back into the trees. Yes, so just over here through these trees, this is where you start to turn right and head up the hill, just over there. And just out in this grass over here, I was heading up the next valley, up over that way, and yeah, Mr. Bear was just down in that grass over there, or Mrs. Bear, whichever they were. Not sure which, didn't hang around long enough to find out. Right, so this is where you start turning up the corner, heading up the hill. You get into the aspens, just past the draw, there's a little draw down in here. You're going to start heading up that way. It's very nice, isn't it? It's lovely up in here. Like I say, it's such a kid-friendly walk as well. Hardly any elevation gain. Well, a little bit, but I don't know what it is, it ain't much. But it's, yeah, Eagle Hill's off up over that way. So that hill you can see in the distance, that's part of the bottom end of Eagle Hill. Yeah, that's also a very nice walk for kids. All along there, that's pretty much 2-lane highway all the way along there. It's a well-trodden trail, very well marked. Yeah. This one, I don't know if this one gets as much use, I don't know. I would have thought so, because the campground's there, and this is a really easy one for people to do. Used to actually have the signs here. The trees eating that one. Right, so I'm going to head up that way, and I'll do some more as I go up. Right, I've just come up through that bit. Little puff, because I come up there faster than I thought. Because here there's a little baby robin, obviously learning to fly. And it was down on the trail, and it was panicking because I was walking up the trail. Bloody mosquitoes. And the parents were going nuts, and they started mobbing me, so I thought, no, I'm not here to hurt you young. Right, this is the first of the switchbacks. There's a few switchbacks up in here, and then there's a bench up near the top, and there's hopefully still the bench right at the very top. So I'll find out when I get there. Yeah, those robins were having quite the conniption fit. I think they're young and just learning to fly, and it was down on the trail. And yeah, they weren't having none of that. Right, so you come up through the aspen bit, which is down through there, get to the first zigzag, and then you're going to start heading up the hill that way. Well, at 2/3 of the way up, you'll come across the first bench. Nice flower. And this bench is a very nice view. Some people go that way and back down. I prefer to go right up to the top. This is probably 2/3 of the way up easy. It's not much of a view, however. Yeah, what a great place for a bench. Oh, I see a little bit of garbage over there. I'll pick that up. Yeah. Now from the bench, you want to go that way. That will take you right up to the very top, which is only just up through here, just a little way further. That's a bit of garbage there. Blue thing, whatever that is. I'll take that. I mean, some people cut down through there. I don't. I prefer to just go up and around. Much nicer walk. Well, it would be for bloody mosquitoes, bugger off. Right, so I can see if I can find a picture of this tree. This trail always reminds me of Fullerton Loop. Anybody that likes doing Fullerton Loop would love this trail. Yeah, Old Buck Trail's brilliant. I can remember standing here looking at that tree when it hadn't been down long, and you had a fairly reasonable view out that way. Just shows you how quick these trees grow, doesn't it? Like I say, I haven't been here for 15 years. This smaller tree here in front of me, that was probably just poking out the ground last time I was here. So yes, used to have a bit of a view that way. You don't anymore. Right, so that's the way I've come up. That was the view, and I'm going to head up through the forest this way. This just takes you up to the top of the hill. This is nice and cool in here. Should be less mosquitoes in here too, because there's not so much grass. Right, on I go, up the hill. Just up round the corner from the bench is down through there, is the actual top. And there used to be another bench up here. No, it still is. Last time I came up here, I found a packet of goldfish crackers. Oh, I don't see them. Oh, there's the bench. Oh, it is still here. Oh, nice. Yeah. Good creative artwork there. Yes, bench is still here. So, I'm going to de-kit. I'm going to have a sit down, have something to eat. Oh, I'm glad that bench is still here. Right, let's get some of this junk off. So, time to have a sit down, something to eat. Always make sure you bring food. Oh, and bug spray. In here, I have a mix of raisins, craisins, salted peanuts. Salted peanuts are very important. Yeah. Oh, the bugs. Yeah. This is the top. More buck. Let me show you around a bit here. This is Old Buck Hill. You don't really get much of a view from here. I'll do the best I can to get a view for you. That is it. Out through there. Out through there was Moose Mountain. Right through that gap over there. Yeah. Right. I'm going to sit down, have something to eat, and find my bug spray again. Oh my god, the bloody bugs. Right. Let me find my bug spray and I'll get back to you. Yeah. Don't come up here without bug spray. Yeah. Oh, dear me. Like I say, things that you need. Water, bear spray. Make sure you bring a bear spray. I should have two with me today, just in case. But, like I say, I have in here, I've got raisins, craisins, salted peanuts. Very important to have salted peanuts. Great for energy, and you need the salt too. So I also have a bar that I'm not going to name. But I can tell you they're very good. They are really yummy. I don't know how many calories are in one of these things, but I've gone an entire day before now just eating one of these. My trousers are soaked. My boots. This is after they've dried out. when you go back, that doesn't matter which way you go round on this loop, you are going to come across grass. So I'm also wearing a cotton t-shirt, which is probably not the best thing to have. But I do have all my nippers and saws and all that other stuff, because I do trail clearing as I go. And I thought, I haven't been up here for a while. First time I came up here, I had to clear a whole bunch of trees off the trail, which really surprised me. And I say the first bench that you come across is just down through here. Then you just kind of come up and around and come to this one. That's why there's that other path that goes off in the corner. It comes out just down here. Although why you would cut that corner off when you got this spot. When they first cleared all this out of here, this is all regrowth. These trees are probably 20, 25 years. So if you'd have sat here 25 years ago, the view out there would have been stunning. Yeah. But this is what forests do. It's very important to manage forests. I hear a lot of people talking garbage. They say, oh man, you know, they clear cut the forest, it destroys the forest. I drove past some clear cut coming in here today, which I know was cut about 3 years ago. 4 years ago tops for some of them. And the whole hillside now is just pure green, pure green. And if you went up through there, I guarantee you, there'll be trees this tall up in there already. And all up through there, I guarantee you there will be wildflowers like you haven't seen. Just insane. He creates different habitats. So if you look through the trees here, there's not much undergrowth under here. There's not much growing under there. But this was all clear cut 20 years ago, I'd say. 20, 25 years ago. This was all clear cut. And now look. Yeah, it's good. What isn't good is the bugs. Bugs are brutal. It's been a bad year for bugs. One of my videos there, I was down in the Ware Valley. Oh my god. The grass there was waist height. This grass here, which I'm soaked up to my knees, literally I'm wet to here, in where I was down in the Ware Valley, this is like a mowed bowling green compared to down there. That grass up there is really tall. Now they do have the cows in there, and I can tell you now, once the cows get into those meadows, they'll have that lot down. You'd be surprised. You put 200-300 cows in there, you'd be amazed at how quick they can have that grass down. Yeah, which is why it's very important to graze all this. Yeah. People have asked me why they graze these areas. Well, you think back to 500 years ago, maybe more, there would have been massive herds of bison and what have you coming up through here, throwing tourists all over the show. I don't know if you saw that the other day. Like, what was that guy thinking? No idea. You know, that bison threw him up in the air 20 feet. So yeah, don't get near a bison. They are bad news. Yeah, they look docile, they look good for pictures, but do not get near a bison. Well clear. Yeah. And anyway, so he got in there. He got free flying lessons. Either way, imagine 500,000 bison coming up through the plains and up into the mountains up through here. These forests would have looked much different, much different. What you're seeing everywhere around here is basically man-made forests. Yeah, these aren't natural. There's a few places that I know that are, and I don't tell people where they are because that's just one of those things. People will go there and then the areas get destroyed. But I know where there are places out here that I don't think have ever been cut. So I've certainly never seen any tree stumps in there, and some of the trees in there are huge. They're enormous. But I don't tell people where that is. But all of this is man-made. This is all replant, and this is why it's important, because you get rid of that fuel load off the ground. You're using the timber for useful stuff, but you're also creating all kinds of different habitats like I say, where they were clear cut over there a few years back, I came past a section over there, and all I could see, as far as I could see, was flowers. Flowers, 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 which is great for the bees. You think how many extra bees and all the other insects that rely on the flowers, and then all the things like birds and what have you that eat the insects, and then the bigger birds eat the smaller birds, and so on and so on and so on. It's all part of a very healthy ecosystem. So forest management is crucial. What I would never agree with is if somebody just clear cut it and just left it. That's not playing the game. That's not how it should be. Unfortunately, here in Canada, we have rules for replanting. You have to replant it. It's not an option. You've got to replant it. And Weyerhaeuser, I think I'm right in saying they planted 250,000 trees. Yeah. And we got West Fraser out here now that took over from Spray Lake Sawmills. And everywhere I go that they've cleared, I'm actually very impressed with the way that they've done it. They haven't just left big mountains of crap laying everywhere. It's all been broken down, it's all ground level, which makes for a really fast growing forest, which is obviously why they do it. They get a quicker turnaround. That probably saves them 5 years, easy. Doing that probably saves them 5 years, maybe 10 years on regrowth. So they can then harvest it quicker next time. Yeah, there's a reason why people do all that stuff. But if you go to the areas that they've done, they've had backhoes in there. It's all broken up, small pieces. It's all decomposing really fast because it's touching the ground. Lots and lots of, they've left lots of standing snags and what have you for insects and things like that, which is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So they're making a really good job of it, and then they go in and replant it. I was talking to some ladies planting out the other side of that mountain over there the other year, and they were all out middle of nowhere. They were really shocked to see me walking down through the forest. Yeah, and yeah, those ladies there had planted. They come from BC. They had planted, I think there was 70,000 trees. They put on this one area, this one hillside piece. That's a lot of trees. Yeah. So basically, they plant twice as many as they cut down, because obviously there's going to be a loss rate and all that kind of stuff. Oh, I can tell you what, there is also a lot of loss of mosquitoes. I couldn't tell you how many mosquitoes I've squashed today. Yeah. There's about to be another one too. Come on, settle there again, see what happens. There you go. Add into the food chain right there. Right, so I'm going to get all my gear back on. Can't sit still for long because the mosquitoes are catching up with me. So, yeah. No garbage up here. This looks good. Yeah. I have found garbage up here before now. Yeah. Looks good now. Can't see anything. Absolutely spotless. I always have a pocket. I always save one of my pockets for putting stuff in. Yeah, for stuff that I find. But this is actually very, very clean. Nice to see. Yeah. Right. I will switch this off and head back down the hill. Not sure who made all the artwork. Not bad. Every time I come up here I find piles of rocks like that, and it's fine. Some people go absolutely nuts. Oh my god, there's a pile of rocks. Yeah, well, guess what, I would rather see kids up here stacking up piles of rocks and having fun out in the middle of nowhere than sitting there staring at a computer all day going absolutely nuts. Right, so I'm going to head back down the hill. I came up that way, the path continues. Right, so that's the top of the hill. Follow the signs around. There's red dots on the trees all the way around here too. So I think that's something to do with the campground. I think they have little maps for the kids to go and follow the red dots all the way around. Like I say, this is such an easy trail for kids, it really is. You want to bring the kids out for somewhere to walk. It's a little quieter than, ooh, watch the rocks, they're round. Yeah, it's a little quieter than a lot of other places around here. Because it's such an easy walk. Yeah. Yep. Follow it all the way around. Gets the kids out and about. And like I say, if they want to stack up rocks, that's good for you. Right, a little bit of alder. I've had to clear a bit of alder off this trail, so there's another bit of alder coming up, so I'm going to clear it off and head down the hill. Good news is it's all downhill from here now, all the way back. Well, there's memories for you. When I came up here first time, this tree was snapped off here and across the trail, and I cut it off down there and pushed the bit over there. and it's still there. So that tree has been down, that one, for about 15 years, at least 15 years. And as you can see, it still hasn't rotted away. Yeah, it's good though. It all helps hold the banks together and whatever. A little bit of alder I've had to clear off here. I don't cut the berry bushes because there's a lot of things eat the berries. But the alder I clear off the trail, that's no problem. So I cleared out a bit of alder and going to head down, all the way down the bottom. As you follow the trail down, which is really easy to do, you'll occasionally get little views out through the side here, little bits through the trees. You're going to come to this piece, it kind of goes down and then does a U-shaped bit back on itself. Now I did come up through here a few years ago, and down at the bottom of here there were some really big trees down across the trail which were way too big for me to do anything with. So I'm really kind of hoping that somebody has dealt with those. Yeah. Yeah, the remainder of the trail heads off down through that way. I'll be down there in a minute. I don't trip over here and break my leg. Yeah, right. So I'm going to continue down here, do a U-turn in a minute, and then down through the bottom of the valley that way. I'll just do some trimming up here and I'll be on my way. Yeah, that's where I've just come. There was quite a lot of alder on there, so I got a good haircut. Yeah, and talking of haircuts, a friend of mine gave me a haircut last night. Thank you very, very much. Very much appreciated. Right, I'm just going to trim that back across there. Once you get out of the trees again, you'll get back into the aspens at the bottom. And I'll do some more when I get back out into that lot. I'm just going to trim these pieces up here. Alright, almost at the bottom. Again, here's a bit of memories for you. These trees in here, these two here. Under there, I cut those out of there. Ooh, ages ago, ages and ages ago. There was two across the trail right across here, so I cleared those out. So that's all pretty good up there. I'm just about to get back into the aspen. Just going to make some noise down through here because obviously you're into the taller grass and brush. So we want to keep an eye out for our fuzzy friends with the murder mittens. So I'm going to sit and talk a bit down through here. Let bugs go away. Just going to go down through here, and where you're going to go is you're going to go down round the corner, and that'll take you back to that bridge. I'll show you that when I get there. Right, these parts of forest are very, very important. See if you get the sunlight down to the ground. All the flowers. This is all paintbrush. I don't know what the white ones are. I don't know. The big white ones with the big leaves, like I say, leave those alone. Yeah, don't mess with that stuff. I don't like that stuff. It's not as toxic as giant hogweed, I can tell you that, but it's of the same family, and it's not good to get that stuff in your eyes. Do not, if you touch that stuff, do not rub your eyes. It can be quite dangerous. If it's giant hogweed, it can actually make you go blind, so best off avoiding that stuff. And this always grows in wet areas. My trousers and my shoes are literally just dried out, so now I'm back into grass again. Right, see the height of this one? That's how tall the grass was down in Ware Valley the other day. This grass here is above my knees, and but this is like a mowed bowling green compared to where I was the other day. So yeah, so where this is going to go, you can't miss this trail. It's so well trodden. A lot of people use it. So all down through here, like I say, that's Moose Mountain over there. That's all Cox Hill up over the other side there. That'll take you out towards Hunchback Hills off to the right. It's amazing trails down through here, absolutely amazing. But if you look at those hills over there, these are some of the ones I was saying were clear cut. See, they're all green right up, and I can tell you now, I mean, a little over here, it just looks like there's big light green patches. That is nothing but flowers, nothing but flowers over there. It's absolutely stunning. I was over there the other week, and it's absolutely stunning through there. Yeah, great habitat. Right, I'm going to continue down through this way and around the corner back to the bridge. Right, if you look up through there, you see all the pines at the top, then you'll see a layer of aspens, and all down through here you'll see a lot of broken aspens. This is what happens. The aspens grow, they're not a very strong tree, not very strong at all, and the wind will blow them, snap them off. See all these ones? They're all snapped off. That they make great snags for insects and habitat, and also the wood, it rots real fast. That other tree that I was showing you had been on the ground for about 15 years. Let me tell you, that will be there for probably about another 100 years before that's completely rotted away. However, aspen, not so much. So what will happen is the aspens will grow, and in amongst the aspens you'll have conifers growing. So the aspens act as a protection barrier, if you want, for the that's the way you've just come, by the way, down through there. Acts as a protection barrier so that the conifers can grow. Look at all the habitat over there on all these big logs. Really, these hit the ground, they rot away really, really fast. Most of these aspens, 40, 50 years realistically, that's about it. And but they do grow, they continue. These are all new aspens, let's see. But there is a progression. Aspen forest into conifer forest, so on, so on, and so on. And eventually, it all turns over to conifers, and then there'll be a fire come through, and then the aspens will be the trees that take over, and that's the natural progression of things. But if you look up through there, that's all aspen logs laying on the ground. Yeah. Now, some people come in from the road. If you do that, you'll come up through that lot over there, but the vast majority of people, I think, that do this trail up through here come from the campgrounds. Look at the wildflowers, it's just lovely, isn't it? That's what I was saying about the clear cut areas. If you got there now, it's nothing but fireweed and purple flowers everywhere, and I don't even know what half these things are. But I can tell you now, it's an absolute carpet of flowers. An absolute carpet. There's good and bad and everything. It's all part of the natural process. I'm going to head down here, back to the bridge. One thing I like about the aspens, listen. Hear that? Slightest breeze, and away they go. Can't stop for long because the bugs catch up here. Yeah. Right, so, yeah. This is actually a really good campground up in here as well. It's fairly quiet. It's not, there's no stunning Instagram, nothing's up through here. Oh, butterflies. Yeah. So you don't tend to get what I call the Instagram brigade, yeah, which is nice. But you do get, look at all this. Absolutely amazing, isn't it? Yeah. Right, the bridge is just up here. I'm going to turn left and go over the bridge here in a second, and back up through to the day use area there. Right, this is Old Buck Loop. Be careful how you say that. It's O-L-E-B-U-C-K. Be careful how you pronounce that. Yeah, I have what I've been telling people about this trail. I have had a few grammatical errors, let's just put it that way. Right, yeah, there's loads of these purple flowers. Not sure what these are. Those up there, the round yellowy ones, they're Susans. I know they are. Not sure what half these are. But right, I'm back to the beginning here now. This is where the loop started. Very short loop. Ooh, piece of garbage. Let me grab that. Yep. The corner of somebody's wrapper. That goes in my junk pocket. So that's what I do as I walk around. I have a junk pocket. If I'm going somewhere a little bit further out, I actually carry a garbage bag in my pocket, a little small one. And so if I find stuff, I pick it up and take it with me. Yeah. Right, so here I am, back at the beginning. There we go, Old Buck Loop. That's the way I went. And I came back the other way. The bridge is down through here, so I'm just going to head back across the bridge and then back up to where I parked. Hey, butterfly, find the trail. Keep going. There we go. I don't want to squash the butterfly. Yes, right. So I'm going to head up around that way, and I think I'll call that it for now. I think, yeah. That was a very nice walk around. Can't odds that. Right. Thanks very much for coming along.